Alright guys, welcome back to Balako's Fish Room. Today I wanted to start this video out in front of what actually is my favorite little aquarium right now. So I think I've got about 4, 5, 6, 7 aquariums up and running at the moment, not including any fry tanks and that kind of thing. And of all the tanks that I've got going at the moment, this one's definitely my favorite, only because I'm really interested to see what is actually going to happen in this tank. So in here I used to have a little colony of blue-eyed cichlids and a breeding pair of peppermint bristlenose. So the peppermint bristlenose, they've gone to another aquarium because I'm not actively trying to breed those at the moment, even though I should be. I actually should be. But they just keep spawning, and there's a couple of little babies kind of floating around everywhere. But they've gone to a different tank, and the blue eyes have also gone in as dither fish for the Trimax. Not really because they needed them, more just because I needed a place to put the blue eyes just for now. And I really wanted to see what's in this tank starting to spawn and thrive. So you might have been able to see a couple of the fish swimming around. So in this aquarium, and I hope they poke their heads out again, but in this aquarium, we've got at the back there, you can see him just behind the sponge filter tube. We've got a breeding pair of marbled red devils. So these guys, I'm really not sure about the origin of these guys. A few people that I talk to, they kind of think that that this fish is a cross between a marbled fenestratus cichlid and a red devil. So I can see like the more maroon kind of color that we see on the male's face, which is this guy here. The more maroon color that I see, it definitely resembles that maroon kind of tinge that comes from a fenestratus. Yeah, it's a tough one. Like it could be a long process of genetic line breeding, picking the red devils that have the most black on them, and keeping on going down that line and breeding them back with each other to get the most black that pops up, but also to have that kind of marbling pattern. So I look at this guy and I don't see him as true marbling. I see him more as, you know, a hybrid at the moment. His colors change a lot. He had a lot more black on him in his last aquarium, but this girl that's coming up here, her colors haven't really changed. She's got more of that marbling look. So she's just got random blotches of black, orange, white, and all that kind of stuff. And he had that in his last aquarium, but I think just because of there's no background on this tank, and maybe the lighting or something like that, that's the reason why he hasn't got so much marbling and all that black on him. But I mean, regardless, they're really nice fish, and when you take the purity kind of side out of it, where you're not really too fussed about the pure line of the fish, that you're more just interested in, you know, how they're going to kind of come out once they start spawning. And I think that there are different kind of crosses. You can have crossbreeding that just shouldn't happen. Like you wouldn't try and breed a dovii with a red devil. I mean, it probably isn't possible, and it's just not a good idea because they're completely different fish. But with these guys, you've got a red devil and a marbled fenestratus, which are very similar in body shape, and they're not what you would consider a bad crossing. They're similar diets, similar tendencies with their behaviors and all that kind of stuff. So that's why I don't think, even if it is a cross, I don't think it's a bad crossing. Not to say that this could be somebody's pure passion and commitment to a certain type of fish like the red devil, and they've had them for years and years and years, and they've just bred them, chosen the ones they want to keep, and developed this line. That would be an amazing fact to know, but I just don't know that information yet. But yeah, so these guys, I've got 2 pairs of the marbled red devils. So these guys are probably the nicer pair, more marbling, more different coloration and that kind of thing. And they have spawned for me already 3 times actually, but every time they keep eating the eggs. So that was in their last aquarium. So I'm glad that I let them spawn a few times so they could kind of develop that maturity with their pairing, so that, you know, they had a strong bond and the, you know, any aggression wouldn't really be put towards each other. And you can kind of see that with how they're swimming around together, and they're kind of just in sync with each other, which is really nice. But see what that guy did there? That's why I've kind of put the that wall hanging pot just down there on the ground, and then a bit of wood to cover it up to make it a bit more of a cave kind of thing back there. But what I really want to happen is them to establish themselves in this tank, because they've only been in this aquarium for about 3 days, so a really short amount of time. So I think once they've been in here for a couple of weeks, I'm doing water changes every few days to, you know, try and spark something up. But hopefully we get a little spawning from these guys. They're very small, they're very young. I mean, the female's probably only about 4 inches, and then the male's probably, you know, if he's 6 inches, that's probably his maximum size. But yeah, just a little update on my favorite tank right now. I'll move over quickly. We'll just show you the other aquarium that we've got inside the house. So this guy, well, these guys, this one here, we've got a, I think it is a very aggressive small female, Vieja argenteus. So it's showing all the patterns and signs that a female would have, and I've also vented the fish before I put it in the aquarium. So I'm fairly certain it's a female, but what I wanted to do was I wanted to try and create a little bit of competition, because in this massive section that I've got in here, it's probably 4 foot long, this part of the tank, so 4 foot by 2 foot by 2.5, and we've just got this guy. And there's a few other little fish in there, like there's a few clown loaches, there's a convict cichlid, and you know, I think there's a couple of blue eyes in here as well. But this is his domain. He's got a really good territory, a good amount of space to swim around in. And what he has is over this side, he's got a young female. So this female hopefully will entice him to, you know, either protect his territory against his other female, which is down in that end, which we'll get to in a sec. So hopefully he either tries to pair up with this female, or he starts to be quite aggressive to this female, and trying to ward her away from the other female. So the behaviors that I've seen from this one down here, so over this side we've got this I'd say she's a 5-year-old fish. So this is, I'm 90% sure it's a female, by the way that she kind of shows her patterns off to the male and all that kind of thing. I'm fairly certain it is a female. She gets a lot of black barring. Her spots become a lot more prominent, and he starts to replicate those kind of similar colors and all that kind of stuff, except for the barring. So I think this is a female. I think I do have a really solid foundation for a pair, because what I've got here is I've got these 5 slots which the female can swim through. So quite regularly, what'll happen is she'll just swim through there, especially at feeding time. She'll swim through the middle. She'll come over here with the male. They'll actually swim around together for about 5 or 10 minutes. Everything will be okay. And then he is just a dick. He's just an asshole. So he just gets really aggressive all of a sudden and starts. You can see him down there. He just looks like he's angry. But yeah, he swims over, scares the shit out of her, and then she swims back over to this side. So I think even once they're paired up, even if I have a spawning and that kind of thing, which would be that's the dream. That honestly, I don't know about other places in the world, but in Australia, that is the dream of fish keepers, to be able to get a pair of Vieja argentei or maskaheros argenteus, which I should be saying, but anyway, that is the dream, to get these guys paired up and to get them actually spawning, because it's one thing to even have them in the same tank together without killing each other, but it's another thing to get a pair and to even get a spawning. So it's something that's the biggest thing I want to achieve right now, is to be able to actually spawn these guys and get them back out into the hobby, and not at crazy prices where nobody wants to buy them, because if you put these crazy prices on these fish, what happens is that nobody wants to pay those prices because they think that it's a fragile fish, or these people are just in it for goldfish and things like that, so they don't want to pay those crazy prices. But then all of a sudden 10 years go by, let's say I lose one of the fish, I lose my pair, I stop breeding them, and my prices have been so crazy that people haven't been able to establish another pair, and all of a sudden they're lost out of the hobby again, which in Australia it's a really big issue, because it's very, very difficult for us to be able to get new fish into Australia. Not really for really commonly traded fish, but things like this, like you cannot import Vieja argentei or maskaheros or argenteus. You cannot import them into Australia. It's just not possible. There are so many government restrictions and guidelines and laws and everything behind importing any type of fish, and anything like this, anything that's big and potentially invasive, because we've got a lot of jaguar cichlids already in our waterways, in our river streams, and all that kind of thing. So they really don't want to have us having more types of fish just running rampant and running loose in our water system. So it's really difficult to get anything new. Like I was talking to a guy that's over in America, and he said that red tiger motos, they are one of the most common fish in his area. Like in my area, jaguars are really, really common. Jaguars and convict cichlids. He said they are like the jaguars and convict cichlids. They're so common, people don't really want them, and all that kind of stuff. And we're here in Australia, and we would pay $1,000 for a red tiger moto. Like it's that kind of difference in how difficult it is to actually get a new fish into Australia. There are basically, if anybody gets them in, it's been very well planned and hidden, because it's so difficult to legally get fish into Australia. So but yeah, anyway guys, this is the Vieja argentei or maskaheros argenteus aquarium. Got it set up into the 3 sections. Obviously this female that's over this side, she can't get through to the big male, thank God, because he would kill her. And then in the actual fish room, I'll show you in a next video when I do a good update on the actual fish room itself, is an aquarium set up with a divider, and that's got another 2 of the maskaheros argenteus in there. So another 2 females, I believe, which is a bit of a bugger. I would have liked to get 1 male, but it is what it is. I'm pretty sure we got 4 females and 1 male in total. But I'll show you guys in the next one. There's a lot to show you in the fish room, so I'm really looking forward to that video and everything. So look guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. Like and subscribe, leave comments down below. I've had a few people message me and kind of thing, because Australia's quite the aquarium community, and especially the American cichlid community of Australia is quite small. So everybody tends to know each other, and it's quite a tight-knit community, which is really nice. So it's cool to get comments and videos, and I've run into it it was really funny actually. I ran into somebody that actually said, "Oh, do you have are those?" Because I was showing them my fish when we were at the aquarium store, and they said, "Oh, are you Balaka's fish room?" And I was like, "Oh, that's nice." But anyway, thanks guys for watching. I hope you like this kind of stuff. I will see you in the next one.